Hey, howdy, hi.
I'm Danielle,
And I'm Nye.
and this is My
My
Point
point is,
Is. And you know what? This was better than last time. We did it
it
only in
was.
two
We're
takes.
more in sync this time.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So I had to start recording right now because I was asking you what vibe have you been on? And the first thing you did was pull up your smokes. And I'm not going to say that's the vibe. I'm not telling you that's the vibe you've been on, but I just can't believe you're right now high on this podcast. I cannot believe that.
I feel like, why haven't I been? If you really think about it, why is this the first time? You know what I mean?
Because I don't know, I rescind my objection.
Right?
If
Right?
you can think clearly, as long as, listen, here's the only objection I have. When you get a little too into it,
I
those
just stare
answers
off.
don't, yeah, those answers don't be coming out. You just start to get real internally philosophical.
And it's so much fun for me. But yeah.
It must be. But I find that it would be hard to produce into a podcast for the people.
I concur. But this is vaping. This is different. It's just a different vibe. Totally different vibe.
Is it?
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. All I know is I could never do the podcast high. I couldn't.
Okay.
I couldn't
No,
do it.
I know. Yeah.
Oh my God, can you imagine if
No.
I was my little high ass on here, little drunk ass on here? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. I would not be. I'd be like, and another thing, and another thing.
And then
I
you
don't
proceed to try and jump off or something.
probably no. Do I jump off things or do I? I feel like I
But
just want to dance.
okay, you dance, but then you put yourself in danger at some point.
Do I? Do I ever
You
put
just,
myself in danger?
I swear, it's like you know how New Yorkers be doing the like step off the sidewalk, be in the street because it's cool, like I don't care, like I'm about to cross, whatever thing, right? You take it to an extreme when you're drunk.
You mean,
Like you're like halfway in the middle of the street and
yo,
you're like, fuck
wait.
you, car.
No, first of all, I'm always saying fuck you to the cars because it's not, no one stands in the street because we think it's cool. We stand in the street because the sidewalk is restrictive and because there's too many people on it and because I have places to go and things to do. And I'm not going to stand behind two tourists here from Minnesota on a random
Minnesota.
Wednesday when I'm trying to get to my job and they're like, which way is the Statue of Liberty? No. Marnie, I don't have an answer for you.
Not Marnie.
You know what
Oh
I'm
my
saying?
God.
She'll be like, "Oh, that was so nice of ya. Let me make you a Jello pie." I'm not. No, no.
Shout out Minnesota.
So I guess so you think that's dangerous?
You take it to an extreme, I'm telling you. If you're not dangling off of a fire escape, I promise you, you're in the middle of the street.
I have never dangled off of a fire escape. For reference and context, Nye is referencing. You're talking about when we were outside my apartment and we were on the fire escape at my apartment, and I was breaking down for you and educating you about the
Yes.
brilliance and the beauty of Lady Gaga's music video,
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
right?
Yeah, on
Right?
a fire escape.
For Edge of Glory.
On
Okay.
the edge.
Yeah. I was showing you what she did on the
Right.
fire escape. She never dangled.
Okay,
Never hung off the edge.
but
She was on the edge, but she never it's not called dangle off the edge, fall off the edge. It's called I'm on the edge.
and you were.
It was great. It's so liberating.
I bet. I
Oh,
wouldn't
maybe
know.
that's why you think that's why you think
Okay.
that. I just love to feel liberated. So what's the vibe you're on? So that's the vibe you're on? We
The
gotta fuck.
vibe I've been on has been delusional. I have been blissfully delusional. Like, I have been enjoying this time off from work, even though I am recovering from the surgery. Sure, whatever, fine. I've been doing my own thing. I've been writing again, reading again. I'm in a class for writing. What else am I doing? I'm in a class for design, which I'm loving. All this stuff. Whole time my life is falling apart. Like, I'm so broke. I it's actually disgusting. I'm so broke.
Oh yeah, I was getting so excited for you because you were like, I was like, wait, I didn't know you had all these. I knew you had your UX UI design course, but I didn't know you had like the other courses. Da, da, da. And then you're like, yeah, dude, all these things. I was like, wait, this sounds so productive and good. I was like, what's the delusion? Okay, got it. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
with you
no.
now. Continue.
I have no reason to be this happy. What am I doing?
Like you have some reason to be
Okay,
happy.
yeah, no, but it's like low key delusional because I have to get my life together. But I am feeling very good. The vibe has been good. The vibe has been vibey. We love her.
I'll take that. I'll take that. You know what? It sounds like there's at least, it's not full delusion. And it's not clinical delusion. Sounds like
It's
it's just
not clinical.
it sounds like it's just delulu,
It's
as the
just a
kids
little delulu.
say. And
Yeah.
that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Okay.
What's your vibe?
So my vibe has been, I want to say my vibe has been very easy or like late 70s, early 80s
Oh,
lately.
I
The
love this
hair, the
direction.
music,
Okay.
the fuck you to
Mhm.
everyone. Mm.
Mhm.
Like yesterday I did my hair so like my hair could have my curls in it. And so I finally, now that it's cut, I'm able to do it. And when I styled it, because this is day two, so all the it's just wavy. It's like not curly anymore. But when I styled it, I'm telling you, I looked like an early 80s, late 70s, early 80s lesbian who
Oh.
walked into the bar and you knew just by looking at her, she didn't give a goddamn what you thought about her. And you were like, I bet she's got a bush. And she's like,
Uh-uh.
what if I
Uh-huh.
do? You'd like it.
Sue me. You like it?
Eat it. She would love it. And she'd be like, and that's the vibe I've been on. I think, and I
Wow.
give most credit to that to one, the superstar of my hair, and two, Lady Gaga, who also
Oh,
plays a large role because her new album is fueling me. And it's all very, it's
yeah.
so
I'm not
good.
gonna lie to you, friend. I have something to tell you.
You didn't listen to the album.
I did. I
Okay.
tried 3 times, 3 separate times. I tried to get
Which song?
past
Try to get past what? Oh no, I'm already upset.
something.
No, I'm already rejecting this. I'm upset. No, we're gonna have a listening party together. I already knew how this was gonna go. No, and you can say whatever you want. We're gonna have a listening party together. Okay, we're gonna sit down, and I'm telling you, when you see the passion, yeah, I
Are
think
you gonna be
sometimes you need a
dancing?
visual. I
Okay.
think you need a visual. Okay, because sometimes you'll say things, and then when I perform the level of enthusiasm that one is supposed to experience while
Hmm.
listening to these beautiful works of art, you get into it. And by the end of it, you're
Okay.
like, you know what? That actually was good. That actually, wait, I've seen you do it so many times. But I think sometimes you sit on your own and you can't see the whole vision, can't see the picture.
I didn't see a damn vision. I'm not gonna lie.
I
I
know.
mean, I didn't hate it at all, but I was just like, this is just not for me. You know?
And you know what? And you know what?
No, I don't know.
I can understand why you would say that because
Wow. Not the understanding. I'm so surprised.
I'm finding it. I'm not at work right now. So, but I'm bringing some of my professionalism to the forefront. And I will forgive you once we sit down and you really experience it as you should. And
Okay.
then you can tell me, oh, you know what, Danielle, I actually see it. Okay, I see the vision. It's it's a work of art. It's a work of art. And I think
I've
the thing
so
too,
I've
yeah,
heard.
if you haven't, I don't need that. Don't say that. How dare you? Don't patronize me. Listen, I think if you didn't grow up with a very specific type of like 80s music, it's not going to hit the same for people.
Yeah.
But I grew up with a ton of like 80s music, a ton of it.
Mm.
My mom specifically loves it. So I don't have a segue for where we're going. I don't, but because I was just so thrown off right now. I
Look,
feel a
no
little betrayed.
shade. No shade. Okay, it's just tea. Okay, I'm just letting you know.
Okay. Okay. So let's keep it moving. You want to introduce what we're talking about today?
What are we talking about today? We are talking about how we knew we were queer, how it dawned on us.
Which is
And
different than the coming out, I want to specify because like it's less of a what was your public journey.
uh-huh.
It's more what was your internal journey and process. Like what was your process and like and then of course I think this will take us fun place. So we have questions that we prepared.
Uh-huh.
So I have two questions and for you that we can both answer, but I'll ask you and then you have two questions for me, right?
Yeah.
And we don't know what these questions are, by the way. This is new to both of us, so we don't know. So you're gonna get our actual reactions to these questions. Okay, do you want to start?
Surely. So, as we know, thou art a lesbian. Has your definition of lesbian always been the same? Has it changed? Like, has your type of queer changed?
Okay, so all right. So your first question for me is in my identity as a lesbian, how has that changed over time? Like
Yeah, that's a way better way to place it. Yeah, yeah,
that's what you're
yeah.
asking. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. And that kind of leads into like one of my questions for you too. But I guess okay, the best way to start this would be to tell you we could start out by telling each other the stories of like how we first realized it, and then I'll answer your question. Oh, when I was younger, I had no idea I was gay. Like literally no idea. I had no idea I was queer. I had no idea nothing. I actually one of my favorite songs of the time, speaking of Lady Gaga, was Boys, Boys, Boys when I was in high school.
Mhm.
You know that one? Boys, boys, boys. We
I
like
know it
boys
because
in
you've
cars.
sang it for me.
Boys, boys, boys. Buys drinks in bars. You know?
Mhm.
Um Yeah, so I loved that song. I loved that energy, that vibe. All my friends. It's funny. I ended up being in a group of people where we all ended up being queer, but none of us knew it.
Oh.
None of us knew it. So we were all just these little girls running around and being like daydreaming about boys. We dated boys. I had several boyfriends. But it's funny because even during all that time, the moment that it really hit me, even though I was sitting there chilling, having sleepovers with my best friend at the time, every week we would snuggle up in her bed together and we would watch the L Word together. None of that clicked it for me. Like when we talked, I always was like, yeah, of course I'm going to have two brides at my wedding. Even though we were doing that, that never clicked it for me. That was never the thing that clicked it for me.
Mhm.
What clicked it for me was there was this girl in high school. And I think I talked about this during the coming out episode of the moment that I realized physically, like
Mhm.
I had a physical reaction where I was like turned on by for the first time by this other girl that was at a dance, right? I think we talked
Mhm.
about that in the other episode.
Yeah, we did.
But before her, even, there was this girl that all of us went to like the same elementary school that moved to the middle school that moved to the high school. So we had seen each other. I had seen this girl around, like gently known of her all through my childhood. But in high school, all of a sudden I saw her one day. There's this girl. I won't say her full name, but her first name was Melissa. And Melissa, there was something about, I saw her one day, and it's not like it was a long standing fantasy that I ended up having about this girl. It was just this one moment where I was like, well, this is really cute. Like attractive cute. Like I find her attractive.
Mhm.
And that was the first time I was like, "Oh my God, I don't think I'm really straight." But I didn't stick with it. I didn't harbor on it. Like I literally was like, "Oh, weird." And then moved on and forgot about it. Forgot about it until it had to actually like I had to actually face it when I was 19 years old. And that's
Mhm.
when I had my first like real feelings crush about the barista girl. It was the first girl I fell in love with. Victoria was great. So that was my realization. It was like in two parts. Like it was the first acknowledgement of it. It was a growth over time. It was the first acknowledgement of it mentally, then the
Mhm.
acknowledgement of it physically with the girl at the dance, and then the acknowledgement of it emotionally. So I had, yeah, oh, I never laid it out like that for myself. I'm like talking about it right now. Yeah, I had it mentally with Melissa, physically with the other girl for at the party and there at the dance, and then emotionally with Victoria. Wow. Yeah. So that was my realization. And so then your question was, how has my definition changed over time,
Mhm.
right? So, okay. So then this I think is really interesting because that was my first realization. And I was like, I'm a lesbian. Great. Because I don't like men. Wow. Fast forward. Yes. Yes. And I was with my big scary love, the one that's like you really think is gonna take you down if it
Mhm.
if it ends.
Mhm.
By the way, sneak preview, it doesn't take you down. You'll be fine. Anyway, it doesn't take you down. You'll be fine. It'll hurt, but you'll be fine. And so I was in this relationship with this person. At the time, they identified as a woman,
Mhm.
and I'm not 100% sure on their identity right now, which is why I say it like that. But at the time, they were saying to me, I will never forget the day. I loved them so much, like more than I ever thought I could love someone. That was the most I'd
Mhm.
ever loved someone. And I remember they asked me, and they were very mask. Like, you know me, I
Mhm.
really only be dating mask people, really mask people. And so I just love it. I love masculinity in a woman or a fab person. But listen, so they looked at me and they said, if I came to the realization that I were trans, if I came to the realization that this was not the right identity for me, how would that affect us? Like, would you stay with me?
Mhm.
And immediately when I was asked this question, it was a no brainer. I didn't even get a chance to, like, it was without my permission that my brain went, of course I would stay with you. What? Of course I would. And then I
Mhm.
actually had to take a step back and be like, hold on, wait, let me process. Let me think. Do I mean that? like, because if you are telling me that you're actually, if you were to say that you're a trans man, that would, like, what does that mean for my identity as a lesbian? I
Mhm.
don't like men. You know what I mean? And so I
Mhm.
was like, and then it opened the door for me for this realization of I identify as a lesbian, and the people that I date, especially who I search for when I'm dating, when I was dating, I'm not dating anymore. Oops. Those people are always women or sapphics,
Mhm.
right? But if I really love someone, and this was like something I had to realize for myself, is that if I am really in love with someone, I love all of who they are as a person
Hmm.
more than I love their gender. And so I still can, I will, if anyone asks me, I'm a lesbian. But I realized that that term is so much more expansive than what I had originally always been told that it meant.
Mhm.
It was originally, and I get why in history it was made simple for reason. Like there's a very important reason that it had to be made simple for safety because history was developing still because there was not recognized nuance, right? Like
Mhm.
of identity. And so that's why I get it, but it clicked for me that I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're terminology is ever evolving. Identities are ever evolving. I'm someone who's been very comfortable in my identity for a long time, and even me right now in that moment, I was like, "Oh wow, this is me learning more about myself and growing and realizing that I identify as a lesbian, but caring about the person that I'm with, their gender journey isn't going to change my devotion and love and feelings for them and
Mhm.
attraction to them. It might need discussions and like growth together and processing of emotions and things together, but it doesn't change that for me.
Mhm.
So that's the long-winded way to answer your question.
But it was answered
But it
nonetheless.
was answered. Okay, so now your turn, right? Can
Okay.
I ask you a question? Yeah. So, okay, how has this exploration of your queerness, right? Of your this part of your identity, how has this exploration shifted or evolved your definition of your labels?
Oh, dang.
Which is what you asked me, but I just
Yeah.
phrased it differently.
Okay. So I'll start by saying I'm still in the process. We're still kind of figuring it out.
Bueno. Bueno.
Yes, we do know. I am still figuring it out, but I will say, long ago, back in the high school days, I did believe I was queer, but just in a different type of way. I thought I was asexual for the longest time, because I wasn't attracted to men. Didn't even think, wasn't worried about women. I wasn't sexually attracted to anybody at
Yeah.
all. So I felt that because of that, that just means there's just nothing there. But then I would like perform in a lot of ways. I would like pretend to have a crush on somebody and just be so obsessed with this one person so then nobody would ask me about anybody else just to keep people out my business because I was just like I'm not ever gonna love anybody or be interested in anyone. But then I guess at some point in high school I told everyone I was bisexual because I was like if it's not either or it must be both. It must be both. And I didn't at that point think about the other expansive options.
Once again, when you're young, you don't know the nuance.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah, no, not at all. Well, I was gonna say previously, I think it's beautiful that you found yourself within the nuance, like within the little. I think that's beautiful when people like exist in the in between, or within the cracks and the crevices. I think that's just such a beautiful existence. I love that. That's what I
See,
was
we
gonna say.
found it. We found the point. We got there. We got there.
Eventually, I'm sorry. Going back, so I told everyone I was bisexual. Didn't mean it at all. But I stuck with that label for a while. Didn't talk to anybody, and all the people that I was attracted to ended up being gay men. Like plot twist. At the end of the day, they were all gay men. And so that was one of the clues I feel like for me was that the men I was attracted to were a lot of times gay men. And then so a lot of the men that I was sexually involved with, I actually hated them. Like I actually did not like any part of them. I was just like, we're just getting this done and we're in and we're out, like at the end of the day. I would find every little thing. I'm sure these men were mostly, not all of them, mostly fine. But I would just pick them apart to the point.
Probably not. Knowing your track record, these men were probably garbage. So sorry. I'm going to say that as it is because you have a terrible, terrible track record with
I
men.
do. I do. I really do. But I just realized my dad would always say, like, you're just like a feminist. Feminists are mean to men. So I thought it was just me being a feminist.
Good. Be mean to men. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
was like, I didn't think about it
Kind of.
being like anything to do with my actual like identity or whatever. I was just like, ah, I'm just a feminist, whatever.
New definition for feminism just dropped. Be mean to men. That's it.
That's it. Reminder, this is all high school. Oh no, this is high school and early college
Yeah.
actually. Let me not lie. I didn't have sex while I was in college. Basically,
I
I was all over the place.
yeah, I had asked you how does it when so you're originally you were going to talk to me about tell me about like when you had that first realization, which you just said was in that moment of like thinking you were asexual,
Uh-huh.
right? And then I was saying how has this journey that you've gone on, how has it evolved, like shifted your perspective of your identity? How has it developed?
Okay. Yeah.
It's in development. Like I said, even
It's in
for everyone, it's
development.
always in development. For me, it's in development for everyone at all times. Don't anyone listening, don't ever get it twisted.
Uh-huh.
You could be the same identity for 40 years. If you close off yourself to the idea that you are still developing, oh, you don't do anything but hurt yourself and the people around you that love you. You
Uh-huh.
are always developing. And change can be scary, and it's not always big. Change can be small, but it's always happening. And you just gotta get with the program. Anyway, that's it. That's my soapbox. Go on.
But yeah, I think it's changed in a lot of ways. I think I was so focused on how physically, because you had broke it down before. It's like emotionally, physically, and what was the other one you said?
Mentally.
No, I think I was so focused on physical as like my guiding point. Like I
Mhm.
thought that was what's going to tell me who I'm interested in. And physically, I was attracted to men. I was attracted to masculinity. That's what I like always thought, which is still true. I'm attracted to masculinity.
Mode.
But looking back now, I do realize emotionally, I've always connected so much more with women. I've always wanted to be around women. I never tried to have male friends or anything like that. I didn't feel able to have that connection. So if I'm being honest with myself, I'm being honest with myself right now. This is true honesty. Emotionally, I can only connect to women, AFAB people. I cannot connect with men, and I've never really wanted to, or it's never been a natural thing.
Like an
Um,
emotional romantic capacity, you mean?
yeah, and an
Okay.
emotional, romantic, like, but sometimes also platonically. Let me be real. I don't have a lot of male friends. I don't have it. I just can't really do it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Um, yikes. I know, very bad. But
Listen,
I know
I'm
you
not
have no sympathies.
No, listen, you know I have guy friends. I have some friends that are
You
guys.
do, yeah.
There's like 3 of them. That's it. But I have those 3. I'll leave the door open for those,
No, that's
but
a lot.
but yeah, it is a lot. But no, I'm not gonna shade anybody who's like, I don't fuck with men. I can't deal with them. This is not for me. Like, yeah, no, that makes sense. I totally can get why some people would feel that way. They've they've caused a lot of problems.
A lot.
A lot of
A lot.
problems, to put it as gently as I possibly could.
They just they're too much. Relax. They need to calm down. Yeah, so that was a realization of mine, which I've had for a while, but I haven't really followed through with it at all. I've just been like, yeah, I don't really like men. Still sleep with them. Speaking of, recently, just but 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, and last night. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
I was with a gentleman, a male,
Ugh.
a man, and
What a man.
he was trying
Go ahead.
he was trying to connect with me. Like he was trying to get to know what was going on in my mind. Like when I tell you when I'm with men, I don't really talk. I don't really like communicate. I kind of just become a shell of myself because I don't really want to be there if I'm being honest.
That'll
So
happen.
he was trying to get me to speak up. And apparently that they think okay, the men I've been with have thought that I was like the black cat. Have you heard of that thing? The black cat golden retriever couple
Uh,
mix?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
was like, I thought yeah, yes, I have heard of that. No, I was like, the Black Cat, is this like a superhero identity? What the fuck is they thought I was the Black
The
Cat.
black
No, yeah, okay,
cat.
got it. Versus
Yeah.
Golden Retriever, got it.
Yes, versus golden retriever. And so they were trying to like break me down, get to know me, and blah blah blah. But I found out that every time that a man would like, I'd start to get to know a man's personality. I no longer was sexually attracted to them. I no longer could get it up. Like I know,
You're like, if I know anything about you emotionally, I go from being the Black Cat to the Sahara Desert, baby.
it just dries out.
Ain't nothing tumbleweeds. Ain't nothing. This town's only big enough for one of us, and
And it
you
ain't you.
can't be here. All right, I gotta skedaddle.
I'm dead. Exactly, exactly. But I was confused by that. Especially last night. I was like confused. I was like, okay. I'm not emotionally attracted to men, but I'm sexually attracted to men. I'm not sexually attracted to women, seemingly so, but I am emotionally attracted to women. Turns out, from what I'm understanding about myself, I need with AFAB or women to build an emotional connection to get to the sexual connection part for me,
Demi,
which is a
Demi,
little bit of
baby.
is a little bit of Demi. Yeah, it took me a minute, but I think, and again, evolving, changing, trying to understand myself. But that's where I kind of landed at because I often find women, AFAB people, beautiful and gorgeous. It's not like I don't have eyes now. I can see. But
Everybody. Everybody can see. All of history has seen. That's why they try to keep us down. Too powerful.
yeah, no, yeah, I can see and I've seen that. I need that emotional connection first.
I
Um,
can understand that. I feel like there's an element too of like, correct me if I'm wrong,
mhm,
but knowing you, I think it's fair to also say that there's an element to this that is super new. You don't have a lot of experience with sapphic folks, right? Like you don't have a lot of experience in that area.
mhm,
And so because of that, there's this, it's a little scary. Like there's this feeling of maybe not being safe as like a super safe jump that
mhm,
it's because there's that emotional piece that, and let's be real, the emotional connection to people is way scarier than the physical one.
mhm.
Way scarier. The
It is.
emotional connection is what makes us terrified. And so because my thought is because you already know that you can have an emotional connection with women, adding in that physical element to it might feel so scary because of course we know that the physical helps deepen the emotional a lot of times. There's
Mhm,
a level of intimacy that then you feel it is vulnerability. Intimacy and vulnerability are joined at the hip. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like, and so maybe it's the idea of because you already know that you have that emotional capacity with women and that already feels a little bit vulnerable. Even like in friendships, I've seen like with our friendship, I've seen you be like a little bit like, I don't want to ask you for anything because and I'm like, okay, you're safe, little sweet thing. You're safe. How many times have I had to tell you that? Like, you're safe. You can ask me things. I actually would love to be there for you. I actually would love to show up for you. It actually makes me happy. And like it took months of me telling you that before you asked me the first time you asked me, would you help me come clean my room? Yes. I was so excited when you did that. But I knew how big of a deal it was because that emotional piece is so vulnerable. So,
mhm,
tangent aside, maybe that realization of having that emotional piece feel so vulnerable on its own, then the idea of adding in this physical element that really lays bare intimacy and vulnerability and like takes all the shadows away of it. You can't hide. That feels dangerous. Could feel dangerous for you, for anyone who's hearing this who can relate to it, right? That can feel really dangerous. So needing that space to emotionally develop a trust, develop an understanding of mutual care and compassion for one another before your body can physically allow itself to be like, maybe I'm safe enough to like look at this person in a sexual capacity.
mhm.
That makes sense to me. Demi has always made sense to me. It's not me, but it makes sense to me. And I know
Yeah.
why people, I could totally get when I meet people who are Demi, I'm like, yeah, sounds like you're actually steps ahead of a lot of other people who are just like sexy, myself included. I'm like, oh my God, once again, this is a side tangent. I'm so sorry. I have to say it though. I have to say it though.
Say it. Speak on it.
As someone who loves masculinity, have you seen Bad Bunny's Calvin Klein ad?
Of course I have. Have
I
I
can't,
not replayed it thousands of times?
I can't breathe. I'm like,
And when he threw it back a little bit, I can't. He threw it in a circle. He threw that as a circle.
when he like just stretches the band a little bit and he goes, "You feel me?" I'm like,
I
I
do.
would like to. What? Do I? No. What? It's see, evolving. I'm confused. Bad Bunny is probably one of the
I
only
mean,
non-sapphic people that has ever confused me to that level. Actually, not probably. He is. He is the only non-sapphic person that has ever confused me to that level where I'm like, what? But I also think it's because he looks like Jamelia, my partner. He literally looks, no, they look alike. So it's even more confusing. It's crazy. Anyway, that was a side note. Point is, I get it. And I like this idea for like, I like this exploration, this journey for you of like jumping in and exploring, okay, maybe this is the vibe, this Demi
yeah.
feeling.
Because it also made me think about like my approach to things because we've been in like sapphic spaces and I've been
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
oh no, I don't know what
Yeah.
to do. But I think it's because I was leading with what I lead with men, which is like throw that ass back.
Yeah. You do. No, when we go to sapphic spaces, the way that you act like a straight woman in a straight bar, looking
Yeah.
trolling for straight cis men. Like I
Yeah.
was like, what is happening right now?
Yes. Yes.
And I'm like, no, baby. That's not how we do it here. I mean, you can. And I throw it back with you because
You did. You
I
did. Which I
I
appreciated.
I
You were
do all the time. Because I'm just like, I guess we throw it back, we dancing. But you're not gonna be picking anybody up like that.
it didn't work. And I was confused. I was like, what? Is this ass not fat? Like, do you not see it?
Oh no, it is. But people are respectful. So generally
Right.
speaking.
And I was like offended by that.
I know. I remember you being like, no one came up and grabbed me. No one came up and just without my permission touched me and pulled me in. And I remember you said it and you sounded so offended. And I was like, did you want that? Did you want that? Because I get not wanting to have a full conversation of like, do you consent to me touching you?
Uh-huh.
Great. Yes, please. I invite you in. Like, I'm sorry. Sometimes that takes it definitely takes me
Yeah.
out of it. I don't need all that. I like a good eye communication and you read like I need to know you can read my body language and things like that. Like we don't have to have a full formal shake hands, sign the documents. We're all consenting here. But I do obviously want someone to be able to communicate that and understand communication of consent in different ways. I get why there's levels of like nonverbal communication that would lead to then someone coming up and just kind of grabbing with you, going with it because you've both nonverbally communicated that you want that. But see, wait, oh, I'm excited. Okay, wait, perfect. This ended up being perfect timing because
Yeah.
this is a great ending point because now with this new realization or moment of exploration, right? Like this starting point,
Mhm.
because we have the event that we're going to on the 31st
Which is so
that is
exciting.
also a sapphic space. And it's not really a space I think that you can like throw it back as much. It's more like a mingle space.
I
You know
mean,
what
we can
I'm saying?
find any place to throw
We
that, but I
no,
hear you.
we
But I
will
hear
throw
you.
it back because yeah, we will. Because anytime Nye and I are at the same event,
It just happened.
it just happens. Like this is just how we do things. But and also probably after that we'll go somewhere and really throw it back.
Yeah.
But at the space, I think it'll be like it's the perfect place. It is the perfect place to go and explore this in a new way. Like go and learn how to actually communicate and hit on and romantically or like flirtatiously talk with people. Like you get to go and get your flirt.
I know, but like first I'm just gonna try and talk because I'm
Yeah.
just gonna try and talk, and then we'll get to the flirting. Because what even is flirting? I don't know. We could talk about that, but I
We should
don't.
do that. Wait, we should talk about game. We should talk about game. Okay, that new episode coming up soon. We're going to be talking about game. I'm so excited.
And how I have none.
I don't know. I have yet to see. I don't think you have none. It's just you have not showed me it, but I'm excited to see it. We'll find out
We'll
on the
see.
31st. Okay, cool. Do you have anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
No, I'm all good. Got it all out.
I'm excited. This is going to be fun. Okay, so we'll give you updates next time we're back and we'll let you know how things go at the event. But
Fun. Yeah, that's fun.
okay. Well, thanks everyone for listening and tuning back in. We love you. We appreciate you. And we can't wait to talk to you again soon.
Talk to you soon.
Toodles. Bye.